Oh, me. We doing this again? Yep, talking wide receivers, part two. My number's 13 through 24. Dropping them right now. But before I do that, and we talk football, the fake stuff, fake football. Add the podcast, hit that add button. Add me on Twitter at Crew Matt Hamm. Let's do it. All right, check me out. At 13, I'm rolling with DK Metcalf. And some people might be like, why isn't DK higher? I mean, he's got the age, he's got the talent, and I agree. At age 24, he's what, 6'4", 235 pounds. Only been in the league 3 years. I kind of put him in the same category as DJ Moore now, I think. Russell Wilson, gone, headed out. Went to Denver. Now we're sitting here, DK stuck playing with Drew Lock, Geno Smith. That's not a good situation to be in. I think this year you could be looking at just a terrible year for DK Metcalf. I know I'm looking at some of these ADPs. He's in these drafts coming off on redraft years. He's coming off the board at wide receiver 15, and I just wouldn't want to even be sitting there wanting to have the decision to draft this dude or not. I don't want no parts of him. But dynasty-wise, 13. Should he be higher? No. But could he be from age and talents perspective? Yeah, I think if you're a DK Metcalf fan, your best case scenario would be Drew Lock flames out. We bring in Geno Smith. He starts. I think because in 3+ games, Geno Smith, DK Metcalf scored 4 touchdowns in a little over 3 games. So I think best case scenario is Geno Smith comes in. He targets the crap out of DK Metcalf. Last year he finished as the number 14 wide receiver in your PPR leagues. But DK Metcalf, I think with the quarterback situation going the way it is, it's a significant downgrade playing with Drew Lock. Like, he'll throw the ball deep, but he just can't throw it to anybody. Last year, 2021, DK was just under 1,000 yards, but in 2020 he had 1,300 yards receiving, 10 touchdowns. So the dude's a touchdown machine, 29 touchdowns in 3 years. So he could be higher on age and talent-wise, but his situation, playing with these 2 backup quarterbacks next year, then maybe in 2 years they might get a rookie quarterback in there. So we're looking at like 2 years of fantasy irrelevancy here. So I'm staying away from DK Metcalf. I'd rather have the other DK, Donkey Kong, at tight end. That's who I'd rather have. But DK Metcalf, nah, man, I'm staying away with that one. 14, Michael Pittman. I know people are going to be like, man, you got this dude high. I pretty much planting my flag on Pittman. I think we're looking at a wide receiver 1 type year. Last year, he was playing with old Carson Wentz. Now they bring in Matt Ryan. And just off the top of your head, you bring in Matt Ryan, the offense is going to be more consistent, more smoothly operated. Last year, Pittman, last year in 17 games, he had over 1,000 receiving yards, 6 touchdowns. This is with Carson Wentz. We throw Matt Ryan in the mix, I think you'll see a lot more consistency, especially on intermediate routes. I think he'll be catching the ball a whole lot more. He had 88 receptions last year. I think you could see 100. I think we're looking at a top 10 wide receiver year from Michael Pittman. Last year, he scored over 20 fantasy points in 5 games. And, heck, in week 8 versus Tennessee, he scored 30 points on them dudes. So the talent is there. The explosiveness is there. Had a 57-yard touchdown reception this year. I'm slipping me up some Michael Pittman. I think we're looking at, I got him 14 now. I don't see no reason why we can't be inching him up towards the top 10 as time goes on. So at number 14, I got Michael Pittman. At number 15, Chris Godwin. And this dude, if he doesn't get injured, there's no doubt in my mind this dude is top 10. At age 26, he's playing with the GOAT. Him and the GOAT got that good connection. Last year, Chris Godwin ranked second in receptions, 92. That was a career high last year. I mean, it's just crazy. And I think, let's see, the only reason why I would not have Chris Godwin up higher is because, let's see, longevity. How long is Tom going to be there? With Tom coming back out of retirement, I would say at least 2 more years. But then there's reports coming out. He signs the deal with Fox. He's going to be calling games with Fox and stuff like that. This could be his last year. Godwin coming off an injury, ACL injury towards the end of the year last year. I'm just thinking this could be a 1-year thing, a half-a-year thing, really. So as much as I would love to have Chris Godwin up a little higher, last year he had 98 receptions, 127 targets. So the GOAT is definitely looking for him. If this was like a 3-year, 4-year thing and you knew it, Chris Godwin would be in my top 10. There wouldn't be no doubts about it. But the fact that we're looking at a possibility this could only go on for like half a year, he's got to be a little bit lower, and I love me some Chris Godwin. But at 16, I got Deontay Johnson, age 25 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Deontay Johnson's a tricky one because what was his production? Was it a product of his talent, or was it this dude, Big Ben, can't throw the ball down the field no more, so all the underneath stuff is going to Deontay Johnson? So with that said, I mean, I don't know if Deontay Johnson, I don't know if I really drop him that much with these quarterbacks coming in. I know you got Trubisky. I know you got Kenny Smallhands coming in. But Big Ben was such a bum last year. He's throwing all these short passes to him. You got to like what Deontay Johnson brings to the table. I see in ADP, his average draft position right now is wide receiver 13. So it doesn't look like they're maybe consensus is a little bit lower on him, but I think you'll probably still be seeing all these dump-off passes. Last year, 2021, Deontay Johnson had 107 receptions, 169 targets. So he drops the ball a little bit, but, hey, targets are what you're looking for. He scored 8 touchdowns. He's got explosive ability. I mean, he's scoring over 40-yard touchdowns all 3 seasons. So I think it just comes down to the what's it look like this year? I mean, what is it going to look like with Trubisky and Kenny Smallhands? They're going to be trying to push it down the field a little more? I'm just not sure about all that. I like Deontay Johnson, and I think I'd be willing to go with him again for another year. I had him last year. I done ditched him, but, you know, there's no reason to just stay away from Deontay Johnson like some of these other guys. I think he'll still see some of those underneath targets. So Deontay Johnson, I got at 16. At 17, I got Mike Evans. And, man, at age 28, I would like to put him higher. But it's like I said, we don't know what the GOAT's going to be doing. I do believe the GOAT, my initial thought was he was going to be playing for 2 more years. But, I mean, think about it. All right, since 2014, Mike Evans. This is with Jameis Winston. This is with Tom. This is – who else was there? Since 2014 all the way through 2021, this guy has 1,000 receiving yards every single year. Last year, scored 14 touchdowns. 2020, scored 13 touchdowns. So him and the GOAT got a good connection. I think, really, Mike Evans, if you just think about it logically, this has been one of the most underrated receivers probably ever. I mean, this guy, no matter who's at quarterback, is still bringing in 1,000 yards. And ADP, let's see, he's going as the wide receiver 10 right now, and I'd be slurping that up. I'm just being honest. I love me some Mike Evans, especially in your redraft leagues. Last year, he finished as the wide receiver 8. He had 4 games last year with multiple touchdowns. 4 games. So, you know, he's getting these touchdown targets. He's getting the targets, period. So, between him and Godwin, Tom Brady can definitely support 2 wide receivers. I'm taking Mike Evans. You know, last year in Week 7 versus Chicago, had 3 touchdowns, 31 fantasy points. Do you want that kind of production on your team? I think I want that kind of production on my team. So, at number 18, my first rookie off the board in these Dynasty wide receiver rankings, and that's Drake London. Drake London, I think before the draft, perception was he was behind Treylon Burks, behind Garrett Wilson. I think him landing with the Falcons, No wide receivers there. There's nothing. The best wide receiver when he showed up was like Zacchaeus. I know now we got Auden Tate. I'm a Falcons fan. I love my Falcons, but they're just terrible. So Drake London pulling up. I think all the opportunity is there. Could he get 1,000 yards receiving? I'm not sure, but he was the number 8 pick in the NFL draft, 6'4", led the country in college football contested catches. So you gotta like the talent, you gotta like the situation. Hopefully Atlanta will bring in a quarterback, or maybe Ritter from Cincinnati pans out. You never know. Who knows? Maybe Marcus Mariota slings the rock out to Drake London, but I like Drake London where I got him. I got him at number 18. Like I said, he's my first rookie off the board. And number 19, and this one is mind-boggling to me at number 19. Mind-boggling. I got Marquise Brown. And Marquise Brown, for some odd reason, this dude gets a lot of hate. And ADP, his ADP right now is 25. On Sleeper, he's the 25th receiver getting taken off the board. That is insane. Last year, he finished as the 22nd wide receiver. Lamar Jackson played for the first 12 games? This dude, Marquise Brown, was a top 12 wide receiver. Even got up to wide receiver 4 at one point. Now Marquise Brown, he's leaving the Baltimore Ravens. He goes to the Arizona Cardinals, who he's playing with Kyler Murray, who's a significantly better passer than Lamar Jackson. So Kyler Murray, mixed in with DeAndre Hopkins getting suspended for 6 games doing them steroids. I mean, this is a home run hit for Marquise Brown. You're looking at a wide receiver 1 type of year. I don't even think that's in question. A top 12 finish from Marquise Brown is in the works. It's like I said, between him and Pittman, those are my guys that I'm riding with as far as reaching. People probably think I got them guys too high, but Marquise Brown at age 25, I mean, he finished as a wide receiver 2 just last year, and he played with a backup for the last half of it. So Marquise Brown, age 25, I love it. Number 20, Treylon Burks. And Treylon Burks, I had to be a little bit convinced. I would say going into maybe a couple weeks ago, I was saying I would keep Garrett Wilson above Treylon Burks. But when I look on it and I dive in a little deeper, Treylon Burks, let's see, he was the number 18th pick out of the draft. The Titans trade A.J. Brown, get him out of there, and specifically bring in Treylon Burks to take in that role, specifically, that A.J. Brown role. And I know the Titans, I think the Titans maybe are one Derrick Henry injury away from just blowing this thing up and rebuilding the whole thing. But with that said, I think with Malik Willis on the bench, I think Treylon Burks is going to see a lot of work. Even as a rookie, going to see a lot of work. He's going to go out there and eat. And then even when they're transitioning to this rebuild, I think they bring in the new young quarterback, and they still try to get Treylon Burks the ball. And I think I was just being convinced that, hey, this team's about to rebuild. I don't want no part of these guys, but I'm thinking Treylon Burks, that's a buy all the way through. Like, that's a win-win. I'm taking him. Hey, in redraft years as a rookie, I like him then too. So Treylon Burks, I thought the future was gloom, but you know what? I think it might be a little brighter than what I had previously thought. And at 21, I got Rashad Bateman, and he's just another guy who benefited from that Marquise Brown trade. That when Marquise Brown gets traded to the Cardinals, everybody benefits, including Rashad Bateman. And Rashad Bateman, at age 22, the sky's the limit for this guy next year. 23% of the target share that went to Marquise Brown last year is gone and needs to be replaced. It's not going to all just go to Mark Andrews, and that's where Rashad Bateman comes in. He's coming into his second year. His ADP right now is wide receiver 39. 39, insane, man. If you get later in these drafts, you're definitely picking up Rashad Bateman. There's no doubt about it. That's one ADP that I love. I would smash on that all day. Finished as the wide receiver 69 last year. Injury plagued. I think he might have was hurt in college. It's a run-heavy offense, but you know what? He's the number 1 wide receiver on this offense that is about to be a whole lot better than last year with Lamar theoretically being healthier than he was last year. So Rashad Bateman, no doubt about it. I'm taking that all day. At number 22, Terry McLaurin, and man, age 26 with the Washington Commanders. He's in contract disputes right now as we speak. I know he wants the bag. Washington just went out there and got Jahan Dotson. Got another running back, too. I mean, this is just an organization that's not buttoned up, and the talent is there for Terry McLaurin. There's no doubt about it. But I'm just staying away from these guys who are in these they're on these teams, the organizations that ain't doing nothing. I mean, right now he's being taken as the wide receiver 15th, and that's a big red alert. Red alert, red alert, red alert. I'm staying away from Terry McLaurin. I don't want any business taking him as the number 15th wide receiver. Last year he finished as the wide receiver 25. This year he's got Carson Wentz, and while I think Carson Wentz is better than Taylor Heineke, I mean, it's just like, does Carson Wentz really bring that stability where I will take Terry McLaurin? But I think if you're a Terry McLaurin guy, the best case scenario is he gets out of Washington. They trade him. Hopefully he gets somewhere with a better quarterback, better organization that's a little more buttoned up. And let's see, like the explosiveness is there. In week 2 versus the Giants, he scored 27 fantasy points. In week 4 versus the Falcons, he scored 30. In week 7 versus Green Bay, he scored 25. And I think later on he had one more week where he scored over 20. So it's there. The talent is there. We just got to get this guy the rock. He's just kind of like in that DJ Moore, that DK Metcalf round where you ain't got a quarterback. You just ain't got a quarterback. You are in a bad situation. This is like the worst situation. Like being here in Washington, being here in Chicago, like those are situations you don't want to be in. I like me some Terry McLaurin, but I'm done with him. I'm done. At 23, I got Jerry Jeudy. And Jerry Jeudy just gets a big boost literally just because Russell Wilson leaves Seattle, comes to Denver, and although Jerry Jeudy has been a bust, he's played with Case Keenum and Teddy B these past couple of years. At age 23, out of Alabama, he's been a total bust. Like his highest finish is like wide receiver 48. Most of the time you'd be like, nah, I don't want that. But at age 23, the talent is there. The route running ability is there. A fresh quarterback coming in with something to prove. This offense is already automatically going to be a much smoother offense. The AFC West is going to be in shootouts no matter what it looks like from all the offensive power out there. Go get you a piece of that division. I probably say it every other episode. Go get you a piece of that division. Strength of schedule wise, wide receiver rank, Jerry Jeudy and the Broncos, they have the easiest schedule in the league coming up this next season. I know last year he only played 10 games, but the year before, 2020, he had 856 reception yards, 52 receptions. So the talent is there. 0 touchdowns last year for Jerry Jeudy. But ADP wise, I'm just curious to see where his ADP is. Wide receiver 19 in PPR leagues. So, just a wide receiver 2 type. I think that might be a little high when I think about it just off the top of my head. But Jerry Jeudy at age 23, I got him at 23. And 24, I'm rounded off with my third rookie off the board, and that's Garrett Wilson. And Garrett Wilson was, before the draft, was probably coming in as the number 1 wide receiver before the NFL draft, that is. Probably the number 1 wide receiver. I would say with these landing spots, I definitely got him behind Drake London and Treylon Burks. So Garrett Wilson, he's on. Obviously, it all just comes down to Zach Wilson. That the Jets have put together pieces around. They're committed to building the offense around Zach Wilson, and Garrett Wilson is one of them. They just went out and got Breece Hall too. So if Zach Wilson performs, then there's no reason Garrett Wilson should not perform. He's going to be the number 1 target. Probably was one of the, like him and Olave were probably the 2 most NFL ready wide receivers coming in. The route running is good, so I like Garrett Wilson. I had him above Treylon Burks, but now I don't. Then again, because even though on paper the situation looks good from a player and talent aspect, but this dude is with the Jets. He's with the Jets. And that's just hard to look past. I just can't get over that fact. I mean, at least Treylon, he's with Tennessee, at least Variable. They're down there. They can manufacture wins. They can get production. What are the Jets about to do? As much as I like what they're doing to the offense, Garrett Wilson, you're my number 24. And that wraps up my wide receiver 2 Dynasty Rankings, my 13 through 24. In fact, let me just recap them real quick. I had DK, Pittman, Chris Godwin, Deontay Johnson, Mike Evans, Drake London, Marquise Brown, Treylon Burks, Rashad Bateman, Jerry Jeudy. Nah, I flipped that. I had Terry McLaurin, then Jerry Jeudy, then Garrett Wilson. So those were my 13 through 24. If you want to look at my 1 through 12, just listen to one of the past podcasts, Wide Receiver Dynasty Rankings. Check it out. My 1 through 12, but my 1 through 24 are out there. Like I said, we're getting a lot of downloads. We get more and more as we go. Add me on Twitter, Crew Matt Hamm. Add the podcast, the Crew's Dynasty Podcast. Add it. Share it. 5-star review. Do it. Do it. Be on the lookout for other podcasts. The Poor Man's Politics. It's out. It's out and about. Don't get offended, though. Got P. Miller out there. Jordan Harris. They running the things. We got more podcasts in the works as we speak. We got more coming. The Cruise Podcast Company, we're always working, man. We're never resting. Add my guy, C Swizzy23 on Twitch. C Swizzy23 on Twitch. Add him. The Cruise Gamer. Add him. Be on the lookout. I think I'm going to do 25 through 36 wide receiver dynasty rankings. I might as well. We need to know who the best guys are. So be on the lookout. That about wraps it up, everybody. I'm out.